So I went to another retreat. One of my best friends, Tony, he was part of this young adult group from the Co-Cathedral, and we met there, and he was also discerning. He told me about this retreat. He's like, hey, let's go together. And I remember the retreat again started on a Friday, and I had just come from school, and I was dead tired. And I said, okay, I'm going to take a nap, and then I'm going to, do my luggage in order to go to this retreat.
Yes.
Well, I woke up at 6:15. I'm like, oh my gosh, the retreat. And
so 6:15 in the afternoon.
And I had like 5 missed calls from Tony.
Oh no.
And I call him and I said, hey, I just woke up. I'm super tired. He's like, come. Nothing has started. I'm like, I haven't even done my luggage and packed my bag and nothing. And he's like, do it. I'm like, no, I think I'll pass. Do it. And I'm like, oh my God. Okay, I'll do it. So that retreat was the one that after that retreat, I talked to Father Dad. Father Dad was the vocation director. And he told me, well, let's start with the whole process. So we went through interviews and paperwork and all of that. And
after that retreat. Thank you, Tony.
I know.
For pushing you.
And he knows that he had to do a lot with my vocation.
Wow.
And
sometimes you need that. Just one person pushing you.
Yes.
Do it. Go to the retreat. Just throw your stuff in that back bag and
completely.
That's awesome. And then you said you met Father Dad.
Yeah, I met Father Dad and he was there at that retreat because this retreat was at the seminary. So now I knew that this retreat was definitely for discerning.
So this one you knew was for discerning. The other one you kind of fell into it.
Exactly. That was God. It was God. This was, definitely God, but I cooperated with that.
I imagine that first retreat, you walking in wide-eyed like, oh, everybody here wants to be a priest or a sister or something.
About? It was a strange experience.
I just wanted a free retreat.
Yeah. So
anyway, this one.
Yeah, no, this one was great. It was again a 3-day retreat. It was a silent retreat. This one had more moments of silent, more than talks or anything. So that also helped a lot. And so, however, during my process, there were within maybe 3 months of applying, Father Dad calls me. And he was afraid that I was in a spiritual high. And so he tells me, you may want to consider wait for another year. Now that, you think you're sure, just wait. And I was devastated. I said, oh my gosh, like I was willing to just leave everything, right? Leave my school, my work, my life. And here I hear this. But to me, it has always been very comforting that, and I think this was Father Dad's words, it's like, okay, now you discern, now the church will discern.
Wow.
Right? And so to me, that kind of gave me peace, but I'm a human being. So obviously I was devastated about that waiting. And so during the next 2 months, in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to seminary this year. And so 2 things happened. My school principal, she offered me a different position as a language arts, specialist.
Okay.
So she's like, are you willing to go through the certification? There's a lot of money that, we will pay for you, but you got to tell me if you really, I'm like, yeah, I'll do it,
because ESL is a big thing.
Yeah. And so I was in that certification process. And then the next month, I received an email from my ex-boss in Mexico.
Okay.
I was working in a small animation studio.
Yes.
And so to my surprise, like, what is this guy emailing me now after 5 years? And he told me, hey, how's it going? I just got to tell you, there are many things, that have been happening. One of the biggest projects that I'm involved now is for the first time, I'm going to be part of this animated film.
Okay.
And that this studio from California they want, I forgot exactly where it was from. They want only Mexican artists, or the majority of them, they want Mexican artists because the theme is it's something about Mexican culture.
Okay.
So I right away thought of you.
Wow.
And so, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is my lifetime opportunity, right?
Yeah, this is the dream.
This is a dream. This is why I came to America.
Yes.
And now the invitation was to go back to Mexico and work in this project, a movie.
Yes.
And so I was like, what is this about? And by the way, the movie was The Book of Life. I don't know if you know that. It was about El Día de los Muertos.
Yes.
Like Coco came afterwards, but this was first. This one came first.
Okay.
And so
I thought you were going to say it was Coco.
No, it was The Book of Life, which, it was a good movie, by the way. But anyway, I was like, okay, back to Adoration Chapel. Back to Adoration Chapel. I'm going to present to the Lord, what is he doing in my life? Why am I getting so many options?
Yes.
And I told the Lord, it's like, okay, Lord, you got to help me here. I'm gonna be insane. It's like, okay, ESL specialist. That I have a career in the education field, which I like and I have passion for. The seminary, now they want me to wait for another year. What's going to happen in a year? I don't even know.
Yeah.
And now, for the first time, this opportunity of becoming an animator was becoming a real thing.
Wow.
And I'm like, what's going on? And I remember at that moment, I heard within me, I just want you to be holy, and I want you to be happy, and I will bless you no matter what you choose. I will bless you no matter what you choose. I'm letting you choose because I will be there.
Yes.
This is about holiness. This is about becoming, a saint. And this is about service anyway, right? Loving your neighbor completely, giving your life. And so I said, you're right, Lord. And I said, no, I choose you through the priesthood, right? That was probably the first moment that I think the Lord wanted me to really, really desire the priesthood like never before. And taking the chance that maybe next year I was not going to be invited to enter seminary. I don't know. But I replied to my boss. I told him about that I was thinking about the priesthood. And
did
then
that surprise him?
Yeah. Well, he told me that this doesn't surprise me. I always saw that you were a very spiritual guy. Always, talking about the Lord with me. So he said he was going to pray for me. He's a good man. He's a good Catholic. So, and then I told my principal about what I was thinking, and I did not know she was a Catholic. For 4 years working for her, and I never knew that she was Roman Catholic. So she was so happy when I shared that with her.
That's awesome.
And so she told me, don't worry, if you need to leave. She's like, what am I supposed to do? I'm not going to fight God,
Yes.
So go for it. So don't worry. And if you become a ESL specialist, well, that's great. And I'm like, but I'm worried about the money. And she's like, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. I'm like, okay. So I had peace, right?
Yes.
And within weeks of all this, Father Dad calls me and is like, hey, guess what? If you are still interested in entering this year, the doors are open.
Wow.
I'm like,
wow.
This was just a test,
It was.
It was just a test. There's no question about it. And so I entered that same year in 2012 to the seminary.